Welcome back to Good Moms, Bad Choices.
I'm Erica.
And I'm Mila.
And it's Wednesday, bitches.
Happy motherfucking hump day.
Yeah, and bump day.
And hump day and bump day.
Yeah.
I like how you threw that
But
in
I
there.
guess hump day comes before bump day. Like, technically, if we're going to be technical.
It depends where you're at in your journey.
Yeah, true that.
No, I don't think it matters. I think always humping comes before the bumping.
I mean, unless you've already pumped, unless you're pumping because you've humped
Oh,
already.
wait, pump day is
A
after
different
bump day. No, we're like,
We're confusing
we're
everyone.
confusing.
Well, we have a very special guest today. If you hear a foreign voice that's not Erica or I, it is the all-time most high author of the pregnancy Bible that everyone has seen, read, and heard of. The series of What to Expect When Expecting, Heidi Murkoff.
That's me.
Add I need
Hi.
cheers.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hi, hello there. Heidi is a very, very special guest today. She is probably like one of the most recognized women in pregnancy world. She was recognized by Times for 100 most influential people in 2011. I feel so special to be honored to be able to interview you.
But that's so 2011.
So what? It never goes away.
You're in the Smithsonian. I mean, you've sold millions and millions and millions and millions and millions. I mean, I can keep saying millions because it's going to keep going. It's like 20 millions of books.
Aw.
I mean, I know when I got pregnant, that's like the book everyone recommends that you must have, So, I mean, you are a legend for sure.
Whoa. I feel like I don't know what to say besides I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
You had me at hello.
Thank you so much for allowing us in your space. Erica, and if you guys have been listening, you know that Erica and I are very pushy. And when Heidi's agent told us she didn't have a lot of time to come to us, we said, we'll come to her house. Don't worry. We said, ask her if we could come over.
Well, but it's not my house, just so you know. We're remodeling, so this is not my space, but close enough.
Well, when you
where
go
we're
back
hanging.
home, we'll come over there too.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry.
It's a date. It's a date.
Don't worry, we'll bring red wine.
Excellent. Your open invitation.
It's not a joke. Once you come on the show, we're your friend for life.
Oh, I like the way that sounds. I need me some friends.
Well, here you are, two mom friends you never knew you needed.
I kind of did.
Oh, perfect. I'm happy. So let's roll right into it. Should we do our tarot card of the day?
Sure. We always open up the show with a little tarot. So, what do the tarot gods have for us today, Mila?
Today, the tarot gods. The tarot gods today have given us the card of judgment.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
It's upside down.
Oh, no.
So it says, in a financial context, don't be overly cautious with money. That's not to suggest you should go wild. You may find yourself deliberating endlessly about every purchase. If it's something you need and you can afford it, just buy it. It's good to be financially responsible, but you don't have to fret about every penny you spend.
I think this card is fucking with me.
No, I think it's telling us something. It's telling us we're going to be rich very soon.
Nice.
Heidi's richness is bleeding off onto
Oh,
us.
stop.
And just not to worry. It's fine. Her success is just going to believe. Let me just.
So those Gucci shoes that I was looking at on the internet last night, I should just get them, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But don't put them on my credit card.
Okay, fine, Heidi.
Okay? Just we just met. I know we're going to be best friends and everything.
I don't think I have access to those yet.
Yeah.
Heidi, we're your new daughters now. Just one pair of Gucci shoes each. We're gonna get you one too.
Wait. Have you checked? Have you run this by Emma though?
Emma, we're all gonna be matching. It won't be official if we're all not matching to the event.
Oh no. Okay, well, just so you know, Emma buys her own shoes now. Mama wants a new pair of shoes. She has to buy it. I'm just saying.
Right. That's true. We're moms now. We have to buy our own shit.
Yep.
Fuck.
The one thing I miss about childhood.
Well, wait. What size shoe do you wear? Maybe we can share.
I'm really sad to say that I'm very small, but I have an average size woman's foot. I'm below average in size, but my foot is average size.
Oh, well, you know what they say about that?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't.
I just was going with it.
The huge vagina.
Yeah. Well, they do say that about petite women.
Wow,
I know you've heard this, Heidi. Heidi, I know you've heard it. I've never heard an inappropriate joke about, you know what they say about small women?
No, that's why I was telling the joke, but I didn't know what the...
Well, it's not necessarily pertaining to your shoe size, but there is a running joke. I don't believe that you've never heard it about petite women.
That
Go
you
ahead
could
and tell me.
drive.
What's the joke, bitch?
What? That you could drive a truck through it, or what?
That, like, yeah, you could take big penises.
Well,
So now
relative
you know the
to us, they are all big.
True.
That's also a fact.
Actually, that's
Yeah.
not a fact.
No, that's not a fact.
I do not agree with that. No.
Okay. Well, okay.
Someone probably told you that joke, Heidi, right over your head. I'm happy I'm telling you.
I don't
now.
think anything goes over my head, but no, nobody has actually said that to me before, but good to know.
Well, now you can use it at your next dinner party.
I can.
I'm sure they'll love it.
I'm pissed that everybody feels comfortable enough with me to just throw that joke around. I must say, fuck with me. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm down with that.
I always talk it as a compliment, but, you know, take it however you want.
I'm taking it.
That's the pun intended. Anyway.
Yes.
Okay, we're so inappropriate.
Well,
Yeah, welcome to Good Moms, Bad Choices.
hey, listen, I got to say for the record, I was the first person to say penis on national television.
Really?
A legend, I told you. I told you guys.
Well,
That
wasn't out
needs to be in your Wikipedia.
It wasn't out of context or anything. I was invited to talk about sex during pregnancy on Good Morning America with Joan London.
Wow.
We're going back a few years. And so it came up in the conversation, like, what was I supposed to call it? And I get off the set.
Dingling?
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Johnson. I don't know, but I said penis. You know, and as I said, in context, it wasn't out of context. Right. And I get off the set and they were all like, you said penis. And I was like, yes, I did. We were talking about sex during pregnancy and you saw like everybody shifting uncomfortably. But anyway, so then it was Seinfeld and everything was penis after that. But
So basically you broke not the internet.
I broke the cherry.
You broke the cherry of penis on TV.
Yeah.
I thank you. I really do thank you.
Thank you so much for your work.
You're welcome.
You're
welcome.
Honestly.
And, yeah, I've used it liberally ever since.
You know, I think that's really important. I think, I mean, even now, like with our space and talking about, I mean, our spaces, we're very transparent. If you haven't noticed,
I had not.
Thank
you. Thank you for pointing that out.
But even talking about like to our children and kids about their body parts and just like things that I'm just like, why are we making all these code names for things? I mean,
exactly.
Call it what it is.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know? So.
Yep.
Penis,
So
penis,
now
penis.
we've said vagina and penis so far. So can we move on, or is that?
Yeah, I think we want to move on to the affirmation of the day.
Okay.
Heidi, we normally ask our guests to, help our listeners kind of, set their week up in something that's going to motivate them for the week. I'd love to know kind of like how you stay motivated or what maybe mantra you live by.
My mommy mantra?
Sure, go ahead.
My mommy mantra is stop and smell the babies. Because I learned this the hard way. They don't smell so sweet after a while. And I think it's like it's a metaphor for everything. You got to slow down and enjoy those moments that are going to be over in a flash.
So stop and
smell the babies. Yeah. And
it's funny you say that because I was smelling my daughter yesterday because she still has like little round cheeks.
Aww.
But they're like starting to get thinner and I'm getting really sad. In fact, like I was looking at her the other day and I like started crying and she was like, why are you crying? I'm so dramatic. And I was like, because like you're growing up and I just need you to stop. And I was smelling her and I was like, you still do she still has like, a sweet
new baby smell
to her.
Yeah.
Although like there have been a few times where I've smelled her armpits and they've kind of smelled. And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
You're 6.
No, I remember the first time. And, it's funny. With boys, it's more of a sudden thing because I have a girl and a boy. a woman and a man, but they didn't start out that way. And with my son, it was literally overnight. I tucked him into bed one night, and he was a little boy, little blonde cherub with these round cheeks. And the next morning I woke up, and I took him to school, picked him up, and I was like, what is that smell? There was a smell in the car, and there never, ever had been a smell in the car before. And so, but I think with girls, it's a more gradual process. So like they have PMS, for like years, and then they become women, but it's much more abrupt with boys.
Well, thank God we have girls, Mila.
Yeah.
Oof. I don't even know I don't know.
The jury's out.
Yeah, the jury's out. The attitudes are high.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know yesterday I cuddled with our friend's new babies, like 1 month old at the beach. And I was like,
did you stop and smell the baby?
I did.
You
I was, like,
did?
taking a moment. It was at a party, and I was still just like, don't someone try to take the baby from me.
No. Don't take the
I was
baby.
like, hold on.
Step away from the baby.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Uh-huh.
I've only had 17
Yeah.
minutes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But going on the 20th minute, I'm like, take it. I'm getting baby fever.
When the cheek is against
when you put your
cheek,
face.
you can't. And it's like, you hope they'll just stick there.
I know, and then they don't. They keep
And they
growing and talking
don't.
back.
I know.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to cry again.
Let's move on.
I literally cried. It was ridiculous. My
I came
daughter
out the other
I
side.
hope I didn't cause trauma. She was like, what the
I always look at
I was
Luna
just
and
like,
cry.
why? Is my mom okay? Is she mentally unstable?
Luna definitely thinks I'm unstable. She's like, why are you crying? I'm like, I'm just sad but happy, but you're beautiful.
Yeah.
But you have grandchildren, so you're able to kind of like relive.
Yeah,
relive
and they're
your-
both boys.
Oh.
Both
So-
your son and daughter both have kids?
No, just the daughter.
Are they smelly yet?
No, not yet.
No, okay.
They're 8 and 3, but they don't. No, they. Well, I mean, the 3-year-old smells because he hasn't pooped in the potty yet, so he smells for other reasons. But just he's sweet, sticky, sweet. But yeah, no, it's a smell we don't want to talk about necessarily.
The outside door smell?
Yeah.
So I have a question. Everybody knows your epic, amazing book, but like, has stopping and smelling the babies, have like pregnancy and motherhood just always been your jam?
So, true story. No, I was barely an adult, got married, like just really, we met in September, got married in April.
To this young man right here?
To this young man right here.
Hi, husband.
We met in a bar in New York. And so I was like, I don't even know what we just like decided, okay, let's get married. Got married. And 3 months later, oops, I was pregnant.
Sounds very casual.
Now for some reason, I didn't see that coming. So we were completely unprepared. And I went out to the books. Remember when there were bookstores that sold books?
Oh
a very, very long time ago.
So anyway,
Target?
No.
Not Target, okay.
And it was, I bought all 3 books that were available, and none of them answered my question. So 2 hours before I went into labor with Emma, I delivered a proposal for a book that all I wanted was for a couple of parents to sleep better at night than we had. Just, hold their hand, give them a hug. And I had no idea what was about to happen.
How did you know, though? Like, it being your first child, like, during your pregnancy, were you doing a lot of research? Or how did you come to, like...
No, I knew nothing. I literally, if you had Googled Clueless, but of course there was no Google, so that was a little... Yeah, that was me. We knew absolutely nothing. And there was nobody to turn to for advice. And so that I had to start from scratch with the research and learn it all.
Is there anything now looking back on that book, because you did write it before you actually had a child?
Well, no.
For the proposal.
Yes.
The proposal.
I just knew that I wanted to do this. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what would be in it. But I knew it was necessary.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, for sure. I'm just curious of like now as
well, it's because things have changed so much, so dramatically since the first edition.
It's changed, right? You've
Oh my
updated
God,
it.
yeah.
Like,
I
it's
updated.
Like it's like double the amount of pages. Right?
I update it like a couple times a year.
Oh wow.
Because it's that important to stay current. But the other thing is, if you just look at, well, don't look at the cover, the original cover, but it was. It was a woman in a rocking chair, with like a basket of flowers and potpourri, and she looked miserable. And anyway, but the point is that it has changed so much because pregnancy has changed so much, and how we are pregnant, how we are empowered in a way that we weren't in my pregnant days. And by the way, I didn't get to show off my bump, which was spectacular, but nobody ever got to see it because you had to hide it under a polyester pop tent. Yeah, you could sleep a family of 4 under there with your, it was really,
that was
not
the
fun.
norm. Like everyone would know you were pregnant, but don't look pregnant.
Exactly.
Huh.
Exactly. Remember, back in the day, they called, not my day, but before my day, they called it the period of confinement.
I did not know that.
Women had to be confined because they were pregnant. Like, you weren't supposed to be out doing anything or on your feet or living.
Just lay
Definitely not
there.
showcasing that
Yeah.
bump.
No, so it was, it wasn't maybe the most fun time to be pregnant, but I've gotten, I've had the opportunity now to experience it through my daughter's eyes too, and through her beautiful bump and clothes. Oh my God, the clothes.
And the clothes have come a long way. I mean, even since I was pregnant, the clothes have come a long way. I mean, the only option really when I was shopping was the pea in the pod. And that was it. The pea in the pod. Now there's so many cute pregnancy brands. I'm like, do I want to have a baby again just so I can
I do.
cute?
I do.
Yeah, right.
I do. I loved being pregnant. I did. I mean, it would be hard giving up the red wine, but just the whole idea of it is.
I mean, even that though. I mean, there's so many. I mean, for us, I mean, we are cannabis users, and I mean, I think even still, back. There's so many things that have changed as far as like what you can do when you're pregnant.
Right.
Having a glass of red wine and every now and then is not a big deal as it was like
Well, actually,
It depends who you ask.
I feel like then they were like, drink a martini, it's fine.
When Eric's parents, when my mother-in-law was pregnant, the only reason she didn't drink and smoke the whole time was because she was throwing up for 9 months because she didn't know she was having twins. But had she been feeling fine, she would have been having the martinis. Everybody did.
Yeah,
back
totally
then.
normal.
Yeah. Babies were smaller, but yeah.
But they made it.
They made it. No, that's true. I mean, it depends who you ask when it comes to things like wine. Even, sushi. All those things are, there's so many opinions on caffeine.
I know. I mean,
everything.
I definitely drank a coffee every single day.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I had sushi
My
for
doctor
sure.
said it was fine. I was like, I really did like, besides the coffee, like I was super strict. I was fucking terrified. Like everything that my doctor told me to stay away from, I listened to a T.
Minus the coffee.
Minus the coffee.
No, but your
no,
doctor.
She said coffee was fine.
Yeah.
Oh, your doctor did say?
Yes, the coffee was fine. And
Maybe not the 5-shot.
No, I'm a latte drinker or
Yeah.
just regular.
But then you're getting calcium bonus. It's all good.
See, boom. See, like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Win-win.
No wonder my daughter's
Win-win.
so strong.
Strong and
Exactly.
energetic.
But I was so terrified in pregnancy, and I was always. I think a lot of people think that once you get pregnant, it's like it really isn't about the mother at all. It's really about protecting the baby. Must protect the baby.
Well, yeah.
at
I
all
mean,
costs.
it should be about the mother a lot more than it is, and that's a whole other story. I'm sure we'll get into that. But yeah, it is very much about protecting the baby.
I mean, I didn't eat any cheeses.
Well, first of all, okay. P.S. You could have eaten all cheeses, unless they weren't pasteurized.
I mean, that's what I meant. Like I made
but
no
most
brie
are.
And
Well, there's pasteurized brie.
what are people in France doing?
Eating
What
fucking
are people
brie.
in Japan
Yes,
doing?
but can I explain
Eating sushi.
something? But can I explain the issue there? Is that you don't buy drugstore or gas station sushi in Japan. Like your sushi is fresh. The only reason they tell you to avoid it is because you don't want to get sick.
Like bacteria.
Now
Who knows where it's
the
traveling.
listeria is a different story. That's in the cheese. Super rare, but I mean, as far as like cold cuts in Germany, whole different story than cold cuts here. They're more likely to be contaminated. So same thing with sushi. So it's like an abundance of caution. But in terms of like sushi, the only downside would be if you got food poisoning, and it sucks to get food poisoning when you're pregnant.
True.
Yeah, you get dehydrated, have to, get IV fluids, and
Maybe it's America.
and you're puking anyway. That could be.
America has all these rules, yet we have like the highest.
Yes. Exactly. Well, we have the rules, but we don't have the care.
Right.
And so a lot of women don't even find out what the rules are because they don't get the information because they're not empowered to have that information in their hands. So that's a problem. Well, there's a lot of problems in our country. That is a big problem.
When you were writing this book, like, there are a lot of problems with like childbirth and pregnancy in the States. Like, and I think we would assume that there's not because it's the United States. We're smart. We know everything.
We're American exceptionalism.
Right. We're the best.
Except
we do everything great except birth people.
Yeah. And take care of them.
And take care of them while they.
Other than that, we're awesome.
Other than that,
It's going
yeah.
great.
We have no ethics in our food and drug administration, but everything's fine.
No. It's all good.
How much from the time you wrote the book, just out of pure there's not being enough information available to you, and then
too much information now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How much has it, like, since the book dropped and you've had this wild success? I'm sure because you've learned a bunch of stuff in the process,
and I keep learning
that I'm sure you weren't even aware of because.
No, I keep learning every single day. I learn from moms. I'll probably learn something from you guys.
Maybe.
Maybe it could happen.
I told you that joke.
It could happen. Well, that's true. Okay, right.
How quickly we forget, Heidi.
That's true. I filed it away. I'll pull it out one day.
I mean, but yeah, like, it's a lot of information, and sometimes I feel like I'm better off not knowing some of it.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
When I was pregnant, I'm a very hippie, crunchy, like, I'm going to give a home birth. I'm going to do orgasmic birth and breathe through it. It's going to be great.
Did you?
No. I went to
I'm a huge fan of orgasm. I'm not going to lie. But maybe not at the same time. That's me. But I don't.
I was hopeful. It just didn't happen because that shit hurts.
Yeah.
But even like I did all this research. I listened to all these like crunchy hippie podcasts. I read all of Ina May Gaskin's books. I was like, I'm gonna go to commune and give birth on a farm. But like I didn't realize, and thank God I didn't realize because I didn't really want to give birth in the hospital. That me as a Black woman, I was almost 3 times as high as not leaving the hospital with my baby. I had no idea of that, and thank God, because I was already scared of the hospital, and I ended up going to the hospital. If I would have known that, there's no way I would have went. I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna be home. You know, so it's like I didn't even know that was fucking 7 years ago.
Well, yeah. So the reality is that's the reality,
right?
For Black women, it's also reality for Indigenous moms, American Indian, and Alaskan Natives. So, as well as moms living in maternity care deserts, which are all over the United States. So what's that? It means you can't get care. There's no hospital. There's no birthing center. There's no hospital that does OB. Like even in Chicago, in the south side of Chicago, maternity care is shut down in a lot of places. In rural areas,
that's crazy.
So many hospitals have stopped doing delivery. So you have to travel so far to get care. And in an emergency, that puts you at great risk. And now, let's face it, we've been to South Sudan and Somalian border. We've been everywhere. And okay, it's not okay that it happens there, but you understand it to a certain extent. I don't understand why in the United States, the wealthiest nation in the world, we can't do a better job on maternal mortality, morbidity of moms being, of not making it through childbirth or dying postpartum because their care lapses, their Medicaid lapses at 2 months. What?
Right.
What? You see the doctor for the last time it's 6 weeks.
Right.
A third of deaths happen after that because moms aren't getting continued care. So that's not okay. We have to change that. you had information, whether you wanted to access it or not, you had it, but a lot of moms don't get any.
Right.
And they're not listened to. The CDC just did this great campaign called #HearHer, and it's all based on the fact that many women are not heard. Black moms, especially women of color, when you speak up and you say, this hurts, I'm having this symptom, and they say, oh, it's normal, stop being dramatic.
Oh, I mean, I think of Serena Williams.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And she was hemorrhaging, and she told them something's not right, and they pushed her aside until she was like, no, someone needs to listen to me. And think about how many women of color, not just Black, that happens to. It's alarming, and we know our bodies. We know when something does not feel right. Even me, like, I think about my experience, and I did want to have a home birth, and then because I was the first of all my friends to have children, I told my friends that, I told my family that. They all looked at me like I was fucking nuts. Mm-hmm. My mom, I come from a family that's very like, you're sick, you go to the doctor. That's it. Even now, they're still like, you go, what are you doing? Go to the doctor.
Well, it's probably a good idea right now. In general,
true.
Yeah.
But when I did decide to, because I out of fear, like I think I was telling my daughter's father, I invited a midwife to our house, and this was my last attempt at like proving to myself that I was going to do this, and then like proving to him that like we're doing this. But I also had a lot of guilt because like, okay, it's not just my baby, it's his baby too, and like I want him to like feel comfortable, even though I'm the one carrying it. And I remember this moment. He would ask the midwife, like, so what happens in an emergency? And I was like, fuck. And he was like, well, we would go to the hospital. And he was like, well, why don't we just go to the hospital?
Why don't we just start there?
And so we went to the hospital, and that was my first experience ever. Like, I'd never laid in a hospital bed ever in my life. Mm-hmm. I'd never had surgery ever in my life. So kind of going to the hospital was already traumatic. I remember, like, I had planned... I was like a week late, so of course my doctor was pushing me to
9 days.
I was 7 days, but my doctor was like, "You must go. The baby's getting too big. Like we have to induce you." And so, even now, wishing like I didn't listen to her. Like I wish I would have just waited a little bit longer. I went, got the Pitocin. Throughout my pregnancy, she had been like talking about C-sections a lot, and I kept saying like, I don't want a C-section. She's like, all my babies were delivered C-section. It was very easy. You're obviously capable of, you're healthy.
Right.
You have a birth. I'm just saying, and I'm just saying what? So anyway, I get the Pitocin. I'm in labor for 36 hours. I end up, once your water's broken for that long, you're susceptible to infection. Yep. I get an infection. Now I'm going in for an emergency C-section. Not part of my birth plan at all. No. Never had major surgery in my life. Never sat in a hospital ever, except for death, like going to visit people that are dying. Right. And just feeling like no one was listening to me. Like I told her, like, I think we should wait. And she said, no, we shouldn't because your baby's getting too big. I delivered my daughter. She was 7 pounds. I'm like, people are delivering 11 pounds.
Well, those estimates are way off anyway. So that's not something you can take to the bank, baby bank.
Yeah. It's just like, I just feel like there's a lot of pressure to just, especially as a first-time mother, like for me, like I felt like I must do everything by the book because I am putting my child at risk. Like there's all this fear around birth and like that you don't actually matter. All that matters is this thing that you're growing inside of you.
Like your opinion doesn't matter. You're not in a medical school. Did you go? I didn't think so. So it's you're going to die if you don't do this.
And I don't know what her experience is with other, women or white women that she, caters to. She's not a Black doctor. And that maybe she would have been a little bit more like, okay, let's wait. We could, argue that or whatever. But I did feel like my needs were not listened to. And I was like, then suddenly I'm in surgery.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, there's a good reason why we have C-sections and why we have induction, why we have all these interventions. It's to save lives when necessary, but it's for use as necessary. Mm-hmm. And so there's a fine line, and I don't know the circumstances, but I have to tell you that Black doctors are less likely to perform C-sections on Black women than white doctors are. I mean, that's just a statistic. And for whatever reason, Black moms are more likely
to have C-section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to have all kinds of complications. Now, what it's correlated to, whether there's, a higher risk, because of certain pre-existing conditions or whatever, not for you.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So it's a balance because you want a healthy mom and a healthy baby. And I, then on the other extreme, when I go to Africa, and we were in a clinic in South Sudan where a mom walked in barefoot. She'd walked 14 miles in labor.
Oh my God.
To get to this clinic so she could safely deliver her baby. Now, this clinic had no infrastructure at all, but the midwives were trained and they had clean hands. And that's already a leap above what you could get in your village. So there's extremes, but I feel there's a need for balance with, any birth that ends in a healthy mom and a healthy baby is success. I didn't successfully say that, but you see,
yeah.
And yours was, however, could you have waited? Maybe. Who knows what the indications were, whether you had any reason to deliver sooner.
I think thinking about what Jamila said about saying that, like, I didn't know that, Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in birth than white women. I had no idea of that either. And in my work, in this space with good moms and, meeting women like you and talking to birth workers and doulas and doctors, I do feel like, reflecting back on my experience, I'm just like, I do feel like I wish I would have been more knowledgeable about that, and then just being more empowered to say, you know what, I want to wait longer. Like, why is there a rush?
And
are you trying to get to a vacation or what?
Right. Well,
a lot of times doctors do that. Like there's studies that correlate C-sections happening around lunchtime and the time it's time to clock out because people are ready to go home.
No, there's definitely something to be said for that. I feel like when possible, if you get a midwife, definitely have a doula. Those both lower your risk for needing a C-section, but sometimes you need a C-section and there's nothing you can do about it.
Having someone to advocate for you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
really
I believe every mom should have a doula. We just passed a doula resolution that just recognizes the importance of them, and hopefully we'll get them covered by Medicaid. We also worked on legislation.
That would be so amazing.
Yeah, because for a mom who can't afford to hire a doula but will benefit so incredibly from having that advocate, from having that physical and emotional support, can make, first of all, lowers your risk of C-section, lowers your risk of complications, lowers your risk of postpartum depression. So it's a small investment for a huge
and
gain.
Like, if anyone's had a baby, that hospital bill is like 20 racks, $25,000. I'm like, okay, America, you could throw like $2,500 in for a doula.
Not even.
Right. But it's just crazy. Like, the amount. First of all, it's so over medicalized. Then it's so very expensive. Like, if you don't have insurance, you're fucked. And it's just and just even to hear, I didn't even realize that they only cover you, 2 months after giving birth to your baby.
In states that have not had Medicaid expansion, which is a lot of states, that's when it lapses at 2 months. And until the states say, okay, moms matter in this state, it won't change. California, of course, is great. Like, comparatively amazing in terms of maternal health. Places like New Jersey and New York. But you go to other states like Texas, and the rates are so high, and moms are not getting care. And you're also talking about undocumented moms who are afraid to get care, or they can't afford it, so they wait until they have a complication at 8 months. And guess what? That ends up costing more.
Right.
Than it would have just to give her prenatal care in the first place. So if you don't, as far as I'm concerned, if legislators don't see it from a compassionate point of view, where I want all moms, these are my sisters, I want them all to be healthy, then realize it's economically it makes sense.
Can you tell our listeners too? I mean, you do such amazing work. I mean, all over the world with your foundation. Can you tell them more about your What to Expect Foundation and also Bump Day? I'm really excited.
It's today.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Today's Bump Day.
Not surprisingly, it's a Wednesday.
And today is Bump Day, and I just want to talk. I want to talk about your work and your foundation and how you came to Bump Day and what it means for us and you and all the mamas out here.
So this is our 7th annual Bump Day, and which is very exciting. Keeps getting bigger and bigger. And the idea is to flood social media, especially Instagram, with beautiful bumps, because we're all about celebrating beautiful bumps, past and present. I'm going to be personally dusting off my Polaroids of the 3 pictures that I actually have pregnant. One, there's a little bit of pubic hair that I have to, because I was pulling my shirt up, so I have to like tuck it down. But the idea is to have fun, but raise awareness about the urgent need for better maternal health care in the U.S. because motherhood is the ultimate sisterhood, and our sisters are at risk, and we can't let that stand. We have to advocate, share messages about that, the crisis of maternal mortality that's happening here in the U.S. at this moment. Right. Because we have the highest rate of maternal mortality in the developed world. Not okay. Not okay. Not even remotely okay. And we can change that. But we have to all speak up.
Well, I'm really excited to be a part of it. I can't wait to show off my bump. And if you guys are listening, make sure that today is the day. Show those bumps off. Show those. If you have any pregnant mamas listening right now, go take a picture. Or, I know you guys have probably photo shoots. I mean, we're in the age of social media.
Exactly.
Everyone
love a maternity shoot.
People love to post a bump photo. I mean, I wish I had more photos. I think even me, like I wasn't like one to like walk around with like a crop top on and my like belly showing.
Oh, I would so do that right this minute.
I definitely showed my bump. I wasn't hiding it, but I wasn't like, boom, like
right.
going to the
in
restaurant.
In your face.
Like sports bra and belly. Here I am.
Oh, man, did you?
Yeah, for sure. I was dedicated to not buying a single maternity outfit. I'm not going to be pregnant very long, so I'm not buying that shit.
That's right.
And then I was just squeezing my already small shit over my big ass belly, and you were going to get it all no matter what.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. But you know what? I even as empowered and like I was in my pregnancy, I do wish. It's crazy how you can think at one point you're empowered and you were comfortable in it, and then you look back and there's things that, like, even with breastfeeding afterwards, like I was a breastfeeder and I breastfed for a long time, but like I just remember some people like, oh, go in the bathroom, and then not feeling like ballsy enough that day to be like, no. And I was like, okay, like even for me. And I thought that I was like all empowered in it. But I was looking recently, I don't have a lot of pictures from me breastfeeding because I was probably like, this is too much to take a picture, right? But now I'm like, I miss it so much.
I miss it. All these years later, I miss it like crazy. And I was a person who actually whipped them out back before it was cool to whip them out.
I'm so proud of you.
I mean, I like tried to put a napkin on me in a restaurant, but Emma was always like bobbing and knocking it off.
With a blanket on their head.
Exactly. So I went with the flow, so to speak. Flow.
How was your husband with that at that time? Like, was he advocating for you, or was he like,
oh, totally. Well, he was fond of them too. I mean, it was just, but it's like if you can show breasts everywhere else, damn it. You can share breasts when you're feeding a baby, period. End of story. Not even negotiable.
There's so much sexualization of women's bodies and bodies in general, and it's crazy that like we are so programmed to sexualize every fucking thing, because I guess this is America, that even when it comes to something as natural and as beautiful and as like God-given as birthing and like enjoying the body that you're in, and like even like I think I got flagged on the internet because I posted a picture, like a beautiful picture of my belly, but my nipples are showing. They were fucking huge. But the point is, it wasn't sexual at all.
No.
Like, why the fuck Instagram would you take my beautiful picture down and a beautiful
That's
caption?
so not okay.
And it's an interesting thing, and I feel like so many moms, like if you're listening, if you're pregnant, if you're about to get pregnant, if you've, having a second baby, there's so many things like to be empowered in and information to soak up and just like just to know where you stand in your pregnancy and to like make sure your partner is informed and you're informed when you go in the hospital, what you want, what you don't want, what you're standing for. If someone tells you to put your tit away in the restaurant, tell them to fuck off. Like there's I want to give you the gift
unless you're not breastfeeding. And you just are like you're randomly pulling it out.
That happens to me too.
Yeah. And that's okay, and it's a wardrobe malfunction, and I get that. But if you are breastfeeding, and this is true all over the world, what is the matter with us?
And also, if you're that weird ass fucking friend that's like, oh, Heidi, put your boob away. Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you, friend. You need to shut the fuck up. And the next time you catch yourself about to tell someone to put their tit away or put a blanket over their baby's head or whatever fucking great advice you think you're about to give a mom, or like maybe you should put those new hot milky boobs like away. No. I earned these milky boobs and I earned this belly and I can do whatever the fuck I want. And like even if it's your mother-in-law, maybe you don't have to use those words because you might get divorced, but like you must stand up for yourself.
Well, and it's true with mother-in-laws and with mothers. I mean, like they'll give you a lot of shit about all kinds of things and you just this is your time to be the parent. It's not their turn anymore, right? You wear the parent pants.
Yeah, it's true. It's your time to really, you make the rules.
You made the baby.
You made the baby.
You made the baby, not them. And by the way, pregnancy and new moms are not community property. I think everybody thinks.
It's not a town hall meeting.
No. No, they're not going to contribute to the raising of your child.
So their opinions, honestly,
no, they don't get to tell you what to name your baby. They don't get to tell you how to feed your baby, or how your baby, should on what schedule they should sleep on. Nothing. No, they don't earn that.
I tell you, I never got more motherfucking unsolicited advice until I was a mom, and I'm telling you, you've got to start that shit in pregnancy. You got to start putting your motherfucking foot down as soon as you see 2 fucking lines on that stick.
Your swollen foot.
Yes, you gotta
put that swollen foot down.
You have to like stand in it because people will try you, and it will make you question yourself and question how you're parenting.
Well, and that's the thing. And I know you guys are not like this, but there's so much on social media of the mom judging, which is why when you pulled out the tarot card about judging, I was like, no, not that
kind of judging.
No, but we can't. We have to support each other, and and there are like 2 absolutes about being a parent: keep your child healthy and safe, love your child unconditionally. Beyond that,
keep it alive.
Keep it alive. Yep.
Keep it happy.
That's it.
I even on social media, there's a lot of judgment from the crunchy moms to the non-crunchy moms. I know. I think that I have to speak to that too, because there's women that...
It goes both ways.
Yeah. I mean, it's really easy for us to be like, give home birth and do all these things.
You didn't breastfeed for 8 years?
But if you don't want to, that's fine
or
too.
If it would put you at high risk.
Why are you giving them formula? You have mother's milk. And I'm like, okay.
Listen, Emma did not make milk. She closet pumped 8 hours a day. And she would make like this much milk, and it was funny because Lennox loved it, so she would give it to him first. I used to call it the appetitizer. It was like literally 1 ounce, and he loved it, and that made her feel so guilty. So she would go back to the closet and pump and pump and pump until her nipple was hanging on by a thread. And we finally had an intervention and said, Emma, you can't continue this. Like, and they did not bond until she gave up the breast pump.
Because she was so gung-ho, and it was keeping her from bonding.
Lennox hated the sight of her because she would always try to shove a breast in his mouth, and there was nothing in it. And she tried every herb. She tried every lactation consultant. She tried cupping. Drugs from Canada. Like, she tried everything, and she couldn't make milk. So it's like, yes, breast is best, but if you can't breastfeed or you choose not to, the most important ingredient in a feeding is love.
Right.
That's it. You provide that love. You provide everything a baby needs. So that's what I'm saying.
I second this message. Good moms is not a place for judging or what to expect.
I'm so excited to see all these bumps. I can't wait to see all the bumps on the internet, all the bumps that I've yet to see. I know we have a lot of moms that are pregnant right now that are listening.
Yay.
What is the hashtag? It's hashtag bump.
Hashtag bump day. And then we have a social media toolkit. You can share messages about the need for better maternal health care. There's so many stats that are really like the fact that, 2.2 million moms live in a healthcare desert where they can't get care. I mean,
Wow, it's
not
lot.
okay.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and most pregnancy complications that lead to death are preventable. Like, you can actually do something about it by spreading awareness.
Isn't that crazy? There's things we could do about it, but we just haven't done it because, do that last.
Well, and a lot of people don't know. They just don't know what they don't know, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But now you know, so.
There's no excuse.
Yeah, we have to mom mobilize around issues that are really important to all of us.
No, absolutely.
Because if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Who's going to do it?
Moms matter, goddamn
Yep.
it. We make the people. Do you want more people? We'll take care of us. Fuck. Do you want a population?
Yeah. Well, and
Hello.
try to have a healthy future without a healthy mom. It's not possible.
You'll have nothing.
You'll have nothing. You owe it to us. Right?
Sure, you owe us.
Okay, then.
Hell yeah.
Case closed.
We had a few little questions we wanted to ask you before we head out of here. Do you have those questions, Mila?
Oh, I do. Here, I'm going to slide you too.
Are those tarot cards?
No.
Oh, okay.
No more tarot. We're done with the magic.
No, good.
So we were recently gifted this amazing game by May, our podcast coordinator, who's sitting over here. The game is called We're Not Really Strangers. You guys have maybe seen us post about it. Maybe you guys have heard about it because it's all the rage on social media. But it's a good way to they have some really amazing questions in here that I think some people haven't been asked. I know I've never been asked some of these questions.
This is the self-reflection edition.
Uh-oh.
So you gotta self-reflect, Heidi.
Okay.
Go deep.
Do I have to look in the mirror?
Look in the
No.
mirror and ask yourself these questions.
Not in this light. Okay. Yes.
Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What have you always accepted as true that turned out to be false?
Okay, I'm not good at self-reflection. What have I always? Well, I mean, I assumed that everybody cared about moms and babies. That turned out not to be true.
Oh, God, what a harsh,
I assume that. Yeah, I don't honestly.
That's a good one. I think.
I'm really bad at this.
No,
I'm going to warn you. I'm good.
That you've taken the initiative to make people care.
Well, I'm
Thank
trying.
You for starting the hey, you should care about moms and babies.
I'm trying.
Campaign because it matters.
I'm trying.
You've done an amazing job. Okay, here's another one. What's a non-negotiable in my life?
Or your life.
Hugs.
Your life.
Hugs.
Same girl. You gotta hug me or we're not friends.
I have hugged my way through countries where nobody hugs. Nobody hugs. I hug men in countries where men are not supposed to hug. I've gotten people from man pats all the way through shaming them, of course. Like the other day, I was at a Senate office, and this guy was giving me this like little mamby-pamby kind of like pat, and I was like, no, that's not okay.
That was rude.
I'm going to train you. So, hugs,
Such a mother.
Hugs.
So you just kind of pull them in, from
Well,
the
I was like, that's not okay. Like, you don't hug like this. It's not, it's like the Hollywood air kiss.
The people's face, like when you start to touch them, how like uncomfortable they get. I've always seen people.
I only had security called on me once.
Security was called?
Who called security on you?
I think almost. No, it was
on
on
5'1" woman, little harmless.
It was on the.
It had to be Donald.
It was no, I haven't. Oh, I would not. That would be my one exception. That would be It was on the set of the What to Expect When You're Expecting movie. I don't know if you guys saw it, and if you did, I apologize.
Why do you apologize?
Because it was embarrassing.
You didn't like the movie?
So we were on the set, and I was hugging everybody, and I got to what's his name? Dennis Quaid, and he was at the.
Is that Meg Ryan's ex-husband? Yeah, he's hot.
Okay,
It's
well,
rude. He called security on our friend.
Well, no, I was like, "Hi, I'm Heidi," and everybody else had been so awesome about it, and he was like, like he didn't actually call security. I'm
he
exaggerating a
might
little,
as
but
well.
Exactly.
Look,
Thank
Dennis,
you.
get it together.
Yeah.
Rude.
So
okay.
I'm
I will
disappointed. He
give
seems
him
like a
one
hugger.
rain check.
He seems like a hugger. I'm pissed.
Well, yeah.
You'd be surprised who's
He
not a
wasn't-
hugger that you think is a hugger. He's an actor, Erica.
Oh, damn it, he's good at that. Shit.
Yeah, and some people are weird about it. They are.
It's so weird. It's, I mean, like, minus COVID and all the other, whatever, the cold that's gone crazy. But people are so weird about human touch.
Okay, but yes. And I actually, the first time I went to the CDC and I met, we were having lots of meetings. We met with the director of the CDC, and everybody who knew I was a hugger, they were taking me into his office and saying, whatever you do, do not hug him. Don't do it. Don't do it. I went right in.
You're like, right.
I went right in, gave him a big old hug,
See slow motion.
and I swear to God, he would not let go. Like, he was hugging me for the next,
probably been
hour.
waiting for this hug.
And
no one hugs this man.
I said, here's the thing about hugs and public health. Like, I understand no handshaking. Handshaking is gross. But hugs, you're going like this. You're not, there's no swapping of any fluid. You don't keep fluids on your shoulder. So I feel it's so much more hygienic, and it's good for you.
I can only imagine the memos that like go before, like Heidi's agent sends out, like, she's a hugger, just warning everyone she will touch everyone. Be aware.
No, at the Pentagon. At the Pentagon, literally. I
know a lot of important people.
Oh
Heidi.
my God, I will hug. Four-star generals.
I know, I do. I'm like, is that Michelle?
Oh my God,
I was
Casually.
going to slide it here. I was like, should I slide
that
photo behind
that photo. So that's when Eric or somebody told her she wrote "What to Expect When You're Expecting," and that's her. You did not
That's
face.
how our face was too.
I'm going to pull this just for the camera. So you can see. Look at this. Look at this hug.
Heidi's an amazing hugger.
But there's this. Well, first of all, I'm wearing heels. She's wearing flats, and I'm in her armpit. But regardless, she's an amazing hugger. But that's her face saying, literally, she was saying, you did not.
I see it.
That was our
And
face.
then that's your face saying,
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I did. That's me.
And that photo, she's saying, and I used to go through it every night, and she was using the hand description. And yeah, it was very sad.
Everybody's written the book. I mean, read the book, including Michelle Obama. So
Yeah,
that's
but
amazing.
you've made it.
she's a really good hugger, though, I have to say.
You're a good hugger too. You gave me a good hug. I was
Yeah.
very pleased with that.
I'll do even better on the way out.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Me and Heidi
how
are
I
bonding
roll.
over our deep hugs.
Yeah. Bone crushing.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it here. This is my family now.
Well, Heidi, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Well, thank you for coming to me.
Yes, we came to you, and we'll come to your
Feels
house
so
soon. Don't worry.
special.
We're aggressive and we don't take no for an answer.
I don't either, so.
They're like,
Yeah, I don't. Mm-mm.
Maya was like, good news. I'm like, perfect. Nobody was going to email. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask. So I'm so happy that you joined us and shared your
so
knowledge and shared
happy.
energy with us in space. Thank you for all the work that you do. And we will be posting every fucking picture of our bump that we can find on Instagram
Yes.
today.
Yes.
I hope you do too. Tag what to expect when expecting, and hashtag bump day. Happy bump day, all of my beautiful mamas out there.
Happy bump day. Happy healthy bump day.
Happy healthy bump day. And don't forget to hump, because it's also hump day.
Yeah. Why
Hump
not?
so you can get the bump.
Or not.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to get the bump every time you hump. I'm
True,
just
true.
clarifying that. Like,
You can pull out.
please don't rely on that.
Okay, or you
Just-
can take better,
just
better
please don't.
contraceptive
Yeah.
options. I'm not a doctor and I don't certify this message. Where
Did
can
I just snort? I did.
Where can our listeners find you?
At Heidi Murkoff. All my social media is at Heidi Murkoff. And of course, there's at What to Expect and the What to Expect Project, which is the foundation.
And the app,
There's
right?
a
What to
lot of
Expect
things.
app.
And the What to Expect app. Wait, there's a What to Expect podcast? There's a lot of What to Expect.
Just
that I-
Google what to expect and follow all of them.
or me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know where to find us. We're goodmoms_bad choices on Instagram and goodmomsbadchoices everywhere else. Don't forget to rate and review this episode.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter, you guys. We do have a Twitter. We tweet.
Oh, so do I.
You do?
I do. I mean, I've gone on a little Twitter.
Titus.
Yeah.
That's a lot
but-
over there.
But it is. But for bump day, I'll do it.
So
I think we're good. We're bad girl, good mom.
no, good mom _ bad girl.
That's what it is.
Oh.
Well, we will tag all of the links.
I feel like you're good and you make good choices. You just, I have a feeling you do.
The bad choices are not necessarily bad. They're just, some people might think that talking about sex is bad, but
Or saying penis on the television.
Well, clearly I'm not one of those people.
you are a good mom. You're a good mom that makes bad choices and good choices.
Yes.
But we will link everything in this episode description. Don't you fret. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.